Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
I wish they caught you yawning.
Oh, I timed it out perfectly.
She did a big yawn before it started recording. So welcome to See You Next Tuesday, and you're having a virtual episode today because I thought I was just on the struggle bus, but turns out we've got another passenger.
Yeah, I had to get up super early to go do a tech scout for the film, and I didn't
What
go to
time, by
sleep.
the way?
I had to get there at 8, and it took me 30 minutes to get there, and then I also had to, get up and shower and eat breakfast. I put my breakfast in the car and ate it while I was driving.
Car breakfast is a great breakfast.
And I also didn't go to sleep to probably 2, so it was a struggle.
I see you, comrade.
So I was here. I was gonna do it. It wasn't gonna be great, but I was gonna power through. But we decided this is gonna be a truncated week. There's not gonna be a fisting Friday. There's not gonna be a but am I wrong?
Yeah, and I will take responsibility for that, everybody. I am not newly with POTS, but I do still think that it's still a learning curve, and I, similarly to when I got my hair done and I was out for a week afterwards, I forgot to eat lunch yesterday and I had to do a self-tape, and so I was standing a lot, and then I do a self-tape. I was what was that sound? I made a sound, and I just scared myself. I'm insane. I touched my paper. But I had to stand for a good amount of time, 2 days in a row, and even with beta blockers, but not being on top of eating, I feel like I have been hit by a bus today. So, and my legs are, like I told Melissa, they're swollen to the extent of it looks like I took a cross-country flight. So we're consolidating this week's episode. And, hopefully either the POTS will eventually go away, or before that I will learn how to be more, I will just learn to be more on top of it. Because I gotta say, it's the POTS and the ADHD combo, which is fucking deadly. That's the one that fucks me up, because I'll sit in really weird, uncomfortable positions, which is an ADHD thing, and then that's really bad for my circulation. So POTS is please don't do that. And so it's my brain's at war. So thank you all for understanding, and so that's why we're doing a short little week.
But it also works out because I'll be filming next week, and I was literally lying in bed. It was like, when will I be able to even review But Am I Wrong?
Exactly.
So,
and you know what?
Great.
This is why we're cosmically connected.
Yeah.
This is why our star signs are sisters. Well, I wrote down a couple things to talk about.
Great.
Would you like me to start? Do you want to start?
Go
you have
ahead.
nothing written down.
Nope.
Amazing. So, first, I want to talk about. I introduced you to Chapel Roan probably like a couple weeks ago, a month ago. I mean,
who?
I was gonna say I can't even
was
ask
it
you
an
for
introduction?
No, I can't even give you clarification because I've brought her up and shown you her stuff like multiple times over the course of the year, and every time you're like, "Ooh, I like that girl."
Is she a musician?
She is a musician,
Let
and
me see if I added her.
You liked what I showed you, and what I was gonna say, she performed at Coachella, and as a long time Chapel Roan stan, I'm so happy to see her getting her flowers, and this is. To everybody else, if you want to hop on the I Knew Her When train, that train is about to leave that station. So I would encourage everybody to go watch her Coachella performance. She was phenomenal. And I just love her. And I think you, Melissa, specifically will die for her Coachella performance. I have not heard vocals that crisp in Palm Springs since Beyonce. Like,
I just looked at my music and I didn't add her, so she must not made that big of an impact on me.
I showed you one of her music videos, and you're like,
Okay.
"Oh, this is fun." I think that's your exact words, right? This is fun.
All
She
right.
she does like she's kind of like a drag queen-ish like style of makeup for some of her music videos. I think I showed you the one that she did. I've shown you a couple, but she's great. She's great, and so I want you also to watch her Coachella performance.
Okay.
And she makes people do synchronized dancing, which is one of my favorites. Is she going to
be performing again?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll check it out live. On the feed.
As someone actually,
Isn't there another Coachella weekend this weekend?
Yeah, but I was about to say, Moss keeps making a joke. He goes, "Is now a good time to tell you I'm surprising you with Coachella weekend 2 tickets?" I'm like, that's not even funny. Like, I wouldn't come out of the desert alive.
Nothing about that. It seems like I would be like, okay, then I'm reporting you, Mott's, because this is a kidnapping.
Yes.
And murder.
Intent to murder. Like,
yes.
This is, like, there's no part of me that I know with my whole heart I would not come out alive. And like, that's not even being sarcastic. Like, there's just no way. But I was going to say that like, there's no way you're actually going to watch it live. But then I remembered that not only did you watch Grease live, you also have rewatched Grease.
As soon as it went off, I watched it again. And then over the weekend, I watched it again.
We hung out with our neighbors this weekend, and it was like very poetic because like we were there for like probably like 4 hours or something just hanging out. They got chickens, and we like got to meet all the chickens.
Are they delicious?
We're not eating them. And she was so funny. She was like, I was like, these chickens are beautiful. She goes, oh, I know. I picked the prettiest chickens, and I picked the ones that are going to lay the prettiest eggs. And I'm hoping that like the beauty of them is going to make that like survival of the fittest. Like, they're not going to die. Mm-hmm. Like, and every day she's like, they didn't die. They're still alive. But we were talking about something about, they were asking... she was like, oh, you're younger than me and straight, so what? Vanessa Hudgens, how does she have so much money? Because I was showing her her Vanessa Hudgens house on Architectural Digest. I was like, oh, you guys would fucking love it, because she like, it's an old Hollywood home, like lots of movie people have lived there before, and they were both shocked. They're like, how does she have so much money? And I was like, I'm pretty sure like international fame, and like it's not like the big movies that she's doing, but she does a lot of like campaigns and stuff. I was like, they were like, what's she like most recently done? I was like, unfortunately, the only thing that is coming to my mind is Grease Live, because my friend has seen it multiple times. Like, but the show? And I was like, no, it aired on Fox, but she rewatches it. And they were like, whoa. And I was like, no, I know. They're like, I didn't know people did that. I was like, I don't know that people do, but she does.
Really good. It's really good.
I
and
know,
also,
and like,
she had just lost her father. And
Melissa, the way that I told them that, and they were like, really? And I was like, yep, she told me that too.
Like that day. Yeah. If it wasn't that day, it was that night before.
Yeah. She's just, and I personally am a stan of hers not only from High School Musical, but
Never
really
seen that.
but really from the Princess Switch movies, because every time they add a new Princess Switch, they say, Vanessa, do you want to have another doppelganger? And she goes, sure. And the way that she's so confident to just turn down having any sort of dialect coach, and she just says, I'll do something new with this one, and she does.
And that's where she's getting all her money from.
It's great. Now, she got the money before. I think this is how she's paying the mortgage.
Oh, okay.
It's now. I think the down payment had to come from somewhere else. But I love the Hudge. That's the only way Mods can refer to her as. So that I don't know how that we went from Chapel Roan to that. My next topic, Mariska Hargitay. Have you seen why she's been in the news?
No.
Oh, I love that I get to tell you this. So she was filming Law and Order, SVU, obviously.
What's that?
I will not even entertain that question. And she was filming it in, I want to say Central Park, or might not have actually been Central Park.
Likely story.
She was in New York, whatever.
Of course she was.
Fort Tyrone Park. I know. I was like, it's one of the parks. They were filming, like, cameras up, rolling, and a little girl comes up to her because she's dressed in a police uniform and says, I lost my mom. I can't find her. And Mariska Hargitay pauses the entire production and finds this girl's mother because this little girl thought she was a real police officer.
But
and
she doesn't wear a uniform. She have her little badge on her hip.
Yeah. Well, she wears she just wears a suit. Navy suit.
She just wears suits all the time.
This little
and
girl's
then her
probably
little
like,
badge.
This is the police officer I trust versus some of these other ones eating donuts, just
hanging out in subways with their robots.
Yep.
Eric
but my favorite line on Entertainment Weekly saying, in true Olivia Benson fashion, Hargitay didn't hesitate to step up and pause production for 20 minutes to assist the girl, who was oblivious to the cameras, the crew, and cast, including Hargitay's scene partner, Ice-T. I was like, damn, you had to throw that shade in there, being like, and it wasn't that she was a fan of the show because she didn't recognize Ice-T.
Baby.
I know. But it's like sweet.
If she was a fan of the show, that would be concerning.
Well, I was going to say, maybe she recognized her from TV and she goes, this is the police officer on TV. I see. This is the news that my mom is watching.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And, like, I would trust a lady cop. But I thought it was just sweet. And I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
And then finally, my last topic is the WNBA.
Oh, yeah. I've become a fan. I haven't watched one game.
Melissa, me too. The WNBA is my new Jada Pinkett Smith, where now, like, I've always been a WNBA fan out of solidarity, sisterhood. Right. But also like spite. So like when people get upset about it, I suddenly become like an encyclopedia of knowledge for a game I've never once seen. So like I will start pulling out, I'm the Wikipedia, stacking up facts so I can dispute people X, Y, and Z. And I have been paying attention to some of the games because I am a huge Angel Reese fan. And I was
Bayou Barbie.
Which is the way that I can envision it in my head, and I'm like, girl, you need Halloween. I need someone to come in and style you, give me a real fucking uniform, like a Bayou Barbie outfit. And I have just been like obsessed watching highlights, watching like everything. Like just I'm loving the camaraderie between teammates. I'm loving the romance between different teammates. Like I'm just loving the whole thing. So I was looking at the red carpet, and I was like, hold up, people are turning out looks. Like real for sure looks here. And I was like, these men show up every year and I've never seen it reported on. It's not like walking into the like entrance looks for like the
games.
Yeah, it's not like that. Like so like I've never seen these red carpet ones, which to me then I'm just like, oh, so you're all just wearing suits, really. Yeah. Like it's not a fashion show. This was a fashion show. I was hooked, absolutely hooked. And then it was released what Caitlyn Clark's 4-year salary would be. Oh, and I asked Mott's and I was like, what do you think it'll be? and he's realistic. Like he's a big fan of sports. He's a big fan of women's sports in general. Right now he's currently watching the women's master, the women's golf tournament.
Well, it could be either one. Golf and tennis have the same names for
I know,
what they
but
do.
right now we just had the men's Masters, so I don't know if that's
Masters.
the same time that they do back-to-back Masters or they alternate. I'm not sure. And he gets like very upset and angry that it's not like on TV and he has to like go through streaming and they only show like highlights. Like this has been like his Roman Empire for a while. Like he's very upset about it. And so I had asked him, I was like, what do you think they're paying her? He's like, well, I mean, the cap of that's going to be way lower than the NBA. And so he was like, oh, God, unfortunately, probably only like $3 million. And I was like, oh, no, babe, 300,000. And he was like,
for 4 years.
No. And I was like, oh, yeah. And even he was baffled by that. And it's crazy. And I've been just seeing people like asshole misogynists who are being like, well, it's because the demand is not there. And I'm like, no, it's because women were banned from playing basketball, let alone at a professional level, but at a college level.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you can't not say that like, oh, well, there's just not as many fans. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, we're just ignoring history here.
And we're also going to ignore the fact that the NCAA women's had the most watches, like the March Madness, out of anything that was on ESPN.
Yeah,
out of any basketball that has ever been on ESPN. Doesn't matter what it was.
I don't know if it's happened now, but it might have already been accomplished. But like the predicted jersey sales from this round of college athletes for like the WNBA is like projected to like surpass other sports, like purchasing memorabilia. Like it's expected to surpass it like at a crazy fucking level, and it might have already done that. And that's like that part is just like insane. And did you see when Caitlyn Clark went on SNL?
I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to watch the full episode.
Okay,
I'm gonna watch it though.
I'll
gonna
add
die
to
my weekend watch.
You're gonna die because as two of Z-Way's biggest stans, we both know the Michael Che episode where Z-Way absolutely grills him because for his entire SNL time, he just dunks on, for lack of a better term, on women's sports. To the point where he asks, can women even dunk in the WNBA? And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, he is just like, he will like specifically will shit on women's basketball, but like women's sports in general. And Z-Way just came for him in his whole fucking episode about that. And he specifically was like, WNBA, send me tickets. And she goes, don't send this man tickets. Like, Go spend your fucking money, you rich man, and go do it there. And he's like, I would love to learn more about the game. She's like, the game is basketball. You know what basketball is. Like, shut the fuck up. So, he obviously like has not stopped. The embarrassment from Z-Way didn't stop him from that. So they brought Caitlyn Clark on to the... Don't
ruin it for me, though.
I'm not going to, but what's it called? The Weekend Update?
Weekend Update.
Brought her on for that. And at first I was like, this is a little tame and like he seems very prepared for it. By the time we got to the end, I was like, this girl, I am kissing the ground that she's walking on, and Michael Che is walking with his hypothetical tail between his legs. Like, the way I could see the sheer embarrassment on his face that he was not prepared for it, and I loved it. I just thought it was so, like, it was just amazing, and I was a huge fan. And there's nothing I love more than watching... it's always alternating. It's either between Colin Jost getting embarrassed or Michael Che getting embarrassed. And my favorite Weekend Updates are when they make each other read things to say for each other, because then it's a dual downfall. And I love that because like I love when they set each other up because I like to watch both of them squirm. Like it's just but this time it was Michael Che's turn, and I think that Colin Jost might have enjoyed it more than anybody. You're gonna love. It was really good. Even Mott's at first was like, I feel like she could be digging deeper. And then we get to the end, he goes, I take everything back. That was a beautiful build up. So I would love to know if she just wrote it or who helped her write it, I'm thinking Bowen helps, because anytime something is a really beautiful crescendo of shade, that's very Bowen coded. And I was just like, I loved it. It was very good. So, and now I'm a huge fan of the WNBA, and Denver's getting a team.
Yeah, I saw that.
And now I want to go to a game.
Yeah, my friend Ashley, who I don't think you ever, but she was she worked on post-production for Mr. Student Bike President, I think UPM during production. But she has season tickets and goes, and she's like, you can come. I just haven't been able to go to any of the ones that she's going to. And then she was invited to the Sparks, like their
with Leslie.
Their part. Yep. She's in a lot of the pictures.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I know. It looked like a lot of fun. But yeah, it's taken over my TikTok. I'm into it. I'm like, I got to start watching, because I used to watch sports all the time. And then I just kind of fell off. Like I just wasn't interested anymore, but I'm like, I'm interested again.
They really separated, when streaming became big, they really separated sports into like a sports package that you had to opt into. And that has been like, that's what like Mott's like biggest like frustration and qualm about it is, like, you have to opt in for so many like different things that now they're just like, oh, we'll just show you basketball for the city that you're in, and we'll just show you football, and we'll go back and forth. But like, he has a hard time even finding like Colorado Rockies games or like any of that stuff that you have to like, they're just making everyone pay for like specific stuff, and then there's nowhere to watch it live for most women's sports.
Yep. But I'm gonna get into it.
Me too.
I'm looking forward to it.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Well, I love women's soccer. I love women, and I love all women's sports. But I
used to go to the soccer games.
Yeah, we used to go to that was men's soccer games, but we used to have season tickets. We might have sold like the past year. I don't know if he like fully relinquished the tickets as a whole, but yeah, I mean I like soccer in general. I like basketball on TV. I don't love baseball on TV. Shit.
I love baseball in person though.
Oh my god, that's my favorite sport to watch in person. Like because it's a little just different than soccer here at least. Like soccer, like when I saw soccer, I went to the women's, what's it called? Like the US, the USA, women's USA, oh my god, I keep thinking of golf terms. Women's Soccer International. What is that called? Oh, the Women's World Cup. Good God. So seeing, I think, soccer games in person in countries where soccer is like fucking huge is like a whole different level. But I mean, the LA games we would see, that was like really fun. I'd never been to a basketball game in person though, besides like high school.
I used to go a lot back when my mom worked for Kraft.
What team?
Wherever we were, even when we were living, I've been to like Houston Rocket games. When we were living in Houston, they also like flew us to go to San Antonio games. This woman who I guess she was sucking up to my mom, it was the work person's wife, made me a birthday cake, but it was April. And she's like, I heard your birthday passed, but I was like, okay, I don't want a bunny cake with coconut on it, but thanks. But yeah, we would go. I've been to just a lot of games. I've been across all sports. I've been to hockey games. I've been to football games. Yeah.
A little scary though.
Very. But we were in the box, so.
Okay, good.
Away from the scary stuff.
I don't like loud noises. In hockey games, lots of large, sudden noises very close to you. And anytime a sport is like there's a imminent threat of knocking one of your adult teeth out as a player, to me, is just like, I think we should rework something.
Did you see this happened like last week? This mom and son, like he was like 5 at the most. They were at a hockey game and a puck came flying, and then the guy next to her like saved the son.
Oh my god!
And it looked like everybody was like, "Wattpad, get ready."
I was about to say, single mom. Is she looking for?
She looked like it.
That was, yeah. No, that's hot.
Yeah, and then they invited them back, to like come down on because it like made the news and stuff, and then the team invited all 3 of them back to be on the ice.
Oh my god, misconnection. The team is like, no soft numbers.
Yeah. So the woman took a picture with them, and she was like, I forgot to exchange contact information. Does anybody know who this is? And then put it on TikTok. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That, and then I felt like, I was going back to the WNBA stuff. You would have been too young to remember, but when the WNBA even started.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah. So, like, you don't remember a time where there wasn't a WNBA. So, when WNBA first started, it was, like, a huge deal.
Yeah.
They made a big deal about it, and Kyla Pratt was, like, the face of it.
I can't believe...
I would say that's probably her, like, big break, was, like, they had all these commercials. They'd be on all the time, and she would just be, like, in the commercials, like talking shit. And yeah, and then from that she got Love and Basketball. She played the young version of
I was gonna ask, was that pre or post? Because if anyone doesn't know, Kyla Pratt is not basketball size. So like, yep. I was like, there's gotta be a tie. I wondered if the tie-in was before or after.
Yeah, it was crazy. After. And then they saw, she was, it was because they would shoot the basketball players from a low angle, so then they'd be very tall, and then shoot her from a high angle. And it was supposed to be like this little girl, like talking mess to them. It was very cute.
How old was she in that?
So we're the same age, so I think like 8.
Wow, great marketing. That's a very I'm gonna watch those later. I do think that like there are some instances of, specifically it happens in like women's sports way more, but of such effective marketing that I go, this is what happens when the marketing girlies get together and they're saying, you know what we're selling women playing sports. And it's like, now let me put on and give you all the best fucking pitch deck you've seen in your goddamn entire life. Like I'm holding it out for that. Like, I don't know if you saw, so one of my favorite TikTokers who like I have started like watching her stuff for a while, but her name is Coach Jackie. And so she does ones like covering different commercials. The one about the Canadian beer brand, I don't know, whatever, with the hockey jerseys, where the jerseys used to be on the top of the back, and they were like, oh, you can't see that because a lot of these women have long hair. And so they were like, the brand was like, switch it, put their names at the bottom where the brand is so you can see it, and we'll just be at the back. And it was like proud to be like a hidden sponsor. The way that I cry, like, this is how you know people are like, women have the same rights as men. No, the way that I cry every time I see a sport, like a commercial about women's sports, I'm sobbing. Like, I'm just like camaraderie, which this is a great segue into, we were trying to find something to watch this weekend. And I forget what we like thought about watching how to blow up is it how to bomb an oil rig? How to blow up a... What's that called?
What is this? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't want to Google it because it sounds... How to...
Just put how to an oil rig in movie.
How to blow up a pipeline. Which is like a movie about like eco-terrorism. Essentially being like, you know, the whole thing of like Mott's constantly makes the joke, which... drives me crazy, where he goes, the solution, we just need to start arming arming the liberals. I'm like, stop. But it's kind of like that thing of being like, what if the extremism was like reflected on both sides and being like, let's blow up this fucking pipeline to basically be like, don't fucking do this shit anymore, and like make it so there's a threat from like the public's not going to be cool with this. And I was like, okay, totally, I understand the vibe, but I'm looking for more of like an Ocean's 8 kind of vibe. What I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for a Steal the Money movie, but like, you know, I want there to be glamour and outfits, and I need the soundtrack to be well-known songs. I don't need this just to be like an Oscar award-winning film. And so I was looking through Letterboxd to be like, Steal the Money movies. So I did make my own Steal the Money movie list on Letterboxd, if anyone wants to follow that there. And I will be adding the 2 movies that our Patreon has suggested that we watch, because I've missed 2 of these major ones.
I suggested one of them.
You did. So. Well, you were on the Patreon. So the one I ended up watching was suggested from like, you like this movie, and so this was on another list, which I finally watched, Hustlers.
You hadn't watched that yet?
No. I didn't, because I don't know that I ever ended up auditioning for it, or I was just asked to audition for it.
I remember that.
And so I usually just steer clear of those ones, but I was like, no, I want to watch this. And I was like, the entire time watching this movie, I was like, God, I just love the camaraderie of women. I just love this. And Mox was like saying, he was like, you know, I like watching movies like this now more with you, because like your face when you watch this versus like if this was just men doing the same thing. And I'm like, because like it's just different. Like it's just fucking different. And there's like an air of like justice in all of it, which I think is so good. And the part that I think is crazy, which I don't know, you probably already know this, but the woman who Julia Stiles plays, the reporter, also is the same reporter who Anna Chlumsky.
Oh, I did know that.
That's the same journalist.
I did not know that.
In real life, she wrote for her one of her first big breakout ones, because I went on a deep dive of her after the Anna Delvey one, because I was like, what else is she reporting on? Because she takes kind of a while to, she does these like big deep dive kind of, not necessarily exposés, but like big profile things that kind of align with criminal cases. Like she tends to do like the profiles on the people behind it. And Hustlers was like her first like big one. And then she did Anna Delvey afterwards. And it was so funny because I'm like, I don't know if this woman has children, but both Julia Stiles and she's pregnant in both of them. And I go, is this just like an added level? Baby? I know. I'm like, or was she pregnant writing both of these stories? Like, what is the pregnancy thing there? I just thought that was so fun. And like with Julia Stiles, like I didn't notice she was pregnant until like the one of the very end points where Constance was calling her and she's on the phone and we get like a wider shot of her. And I was like, wait, what is this like? The other one, the pregnancy's at the forefront of the character.
Yeah,
and this I mean, kind of
there's
like,
a whole episode they could have just skipped.
I know. And I was just like, what is this? Like, has she been pregnant while doing both of this? Like, there's a hard-hitting fucking journalism. She's with child. Stressful. But like, what an iconic woman. And like, damn, like if anyone wants to say like journalism is dead, no, that she is single-handedly keeping this shit alive. And I would love to get her take on the cut woman who put her money in his shoebox. Like the way that I would love this woman to just tell me her thoughts and feelings on like other crazy articles. Loved it though.
Now you know I got to do a deep dive on her.
Yeah, I did it. She's great. Wow. And if anyone was curious about which role I auditioned for, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. You can guess in your head.
It's pretty evident.
I know, but I just want to make sure. This is how you'll know.
Who else would it be?
3, 2, 1. Lily Reinhart. Shocker. No, I was auditioning for Keke Palmer. Keke was so fucking funny in it, and I can't remember
wanted a side movie with those two.
I know. I couldn't remember if I don't even know if I read the original script or if like in my scenes, but her throwing up because like Lily Reinhart's character throwing up because she gets like nervous and anxious was so fucking funny. I was like, this is hilarious. But I thought she was so like, if you gave me a movie with her character and Kiki's character together, but just like her throwing up because she's nervous and then Kiki's reactions to her throwing up because she gets anxious was so like, it was comedy gold. I was like, this is fucking fun. And she's throwing up. She's like, sorry, I don't know why I do that. I was like, that's really funny. Like, yeah. Very well written. And Constance Wu, I mean, they all looked gorgeous in that movie. I know that I'm not here to advocate for anybody plucking their eyebrows so fucking thin and getting rid of that so they go the way that how she looked gorgeous. I was like, you're rocking those thin little brows. I was like, stunning. Except wasn't that G-Eazy in the movie too? That's what Mott said. Mott said, oh, G-Eazy jump scare.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't tell you
but it was good. And I gotta say, we've said it before, Jennifer Lopez, say what you want about her, running up and down that block, that woman's a fucking star.
If you give her a good director, like, she's very good.
Yeah. If you give her the right role, like, she's not someone that I go, oh, I can't get into that because, like, that's just J-Lo. Like, you give her roles of other women who are like, I'm J-Lo. And then who's perfect to play her? J-Lo.
Yep. Yeah. Like, well, the woman that was the actual lady was like, no. She said that she and I saw interviews and she was correct. She's like, I'm more like Cardi B. Like that's who she was like, that's who should have been playing me.
Ooh, I loved Cardi in it too. Yeah. That would have been good.
Yep. Cardi didn't even really shake that ass that much, and she's a professional.
I literally was saying, I was telling Mons and I was like, wait, so when's Cardi getting up there? He goes, she was there for like 2 seconds, and I was like, no, I need a
no. I think she was like, give me more money.
No, she was like, you have to pay me for like not. This is you're asking me as Cardi B, and then also as a professional in this medium, I'm gonna need you to pay a little bit more.
Yep. And I think it was. I'm pretty sure from interviews that I've seen, Jennifer Lopez didn't want to be stood up. Like she didn't want to look. She wanted to look like the best.
I have to say, oversight, where was Leah Remini?
Leah...
I know, I think there's beef.
I mean, that was before the beef. They were definitely friends at that time. But I don't think she just wanted to be a part of it.
No, but I do think she would have been great. And so do you know about the original story? Is it set in New York, the original one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking in my mind, not that New York's not the strip club mecca whatsoever. Like, that's Atlanta. And I was wondering if, especially when they brought Usher in, I was like, was this supposed to be in it? Like, was this supposed to be in Atlanta? And Mott's was like, no, this was New York. And he was saying, he was like, they're doing it. He said the set. He was like, no, Atlanta strip club, you would have no question. Because it's like, there's a different caliber of money that is put into it.
Yeah, it was specifically New York because of the stockbroker
stuff
that goes into it. So it had to be New York. And also, from what I hear from strippers, and they said it from this movie too. When I hear, I mean, I saw it on Twitter, that you can tell if we're having a good or a bad market depending on how often those dudes are coming in the strip club. Great market, they're there. And like a lot of strippers will base like their investments on their clients that come in.
I literally follow a stripper on Twitter because of that. Because she will give updates.
It's probably the same one. Yep.
And I'm like, amazing. And then Mobs goes, we should watch Zola next. And I was like, we should just
Zola's
hop
good.
into our strip. As a child who watched Coyote Ugly, the way I love a goddamn fucking stripping movie. Like,
well, Kyla Ugly is not a stripper movie.
But it's a stripper movie for children. Like, it is the gateway into, like, we're dancing on tables, we're spilling drinks on. That's like, it's like not Girls Gone Wild, Girl Next Door, where it's like the Playboy kind of things, where it's like you watch that when you're a lot younger, and then you're like, okay, now this is I want to see these movies. These movies are get those girls on top of a table and dancing, and then you have them stealing things from these men. Amazing. Also, I think in every movie where there is female nudity, I think we need some male genitalia. And the fact that we saw a dick flip flopping around after we had seen some titties, I was like, that's equality.
Tit for tat.
Tit for taint.
For dick.
Exactly. I loved it.
You're watching everything like years after I've watched it now, and I can't give my full thoughts because I don't remember anymore.
But that's all I do. Like, I am especially with things that I auditioned for, like, I'm such a fucking hater that I'll watch it like years later when I'm like, oh, I actually like didn't really care that much about it. There's only a couple things that like you will not catch me watching. That is The Boys, because that one I literally like cried. I was so upset about.
You have to say it the way that our caller on Don't Blame Me said it. The Boys?
The Boys? God, so nice. I want a whole audiobook like that. And I think that's the only one. And then there are ones that like I'm just not interested in watching, but I would have liked to play the role of it, but because like I'm not gonna watch that then. Anything else I'm thinking of? No, I would have been upset about Powerpuff Girls. Everyone wants to talk shit on it, and they said that looked so low budget and cheap. I think it could have been fun.
Yeah, with a bigger budget.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously it was bad that they canceled it twice.
Well, the thing is that, like, the way to have a campy script that, like, it goes from camp to bad. I mean, the way that it can go from bad to camp is money. So if you don't have the money, it's just bad. But, like, if you give the money in there, think of, like, Scream Queens. Like, if you elevate the production level of this, you put Scream Queens with, like, a bad, low budget. It's just, like, what is this school play? But you make it, and you get, like, yeah, you've got, like, very good actor. You've got all, and it's, like, all that caliber. Then it's, like, oh, this is the point. This is funny. This is crazy. Could have been fun, but I also have never seen the original.
Well, that's a problem.
Of Powerpuff Girls?
That you've never seen the original.
Yeah, well, I wasn't allowed to because it promoted violence.
I never watched it.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks,
and me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Merry Christmas, everybody! My name's Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody! Let's go!
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, I don't. I've just been working on my film, so I don't have anything new to add.
That's fair. Busy.
Yeah, I've been very busy. It's been a good week-ish. I'm ready to start filming.
What day do you start?
Well, we're doing a recording of the music on Sunday. Like at an actual recording studio. We're doing a song. And Coco's doing post supervision, and Coco's doing music supervising, and so she's gonna be the one recording the song and everything. So
go Coco.
And I've actually known her for 4 years. We've never seen each other in person. This is gonna be the first time that we'll see each other, even though she's like somebody that I talk to all the time.
Wait, that's actually crazy.
I know. She messaged me just like an upside down smiley face. And I was like, what? And she said, I'll see you on Sunday. And I was like, that went over my head. Like, I didn't even think about that.
Are you nervous? Like,
no,
what a big build up.
I told her I was going to wear heels so then I would be taller than her.
How tall,
she
Coco?
said, like, half an inch taller than me.
We're still, no, I was going to ask you a stupid question.
Okay.
It was that I asked Mott's. I was like, "Were stilts big in Denver?" And he goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, that was like a big thing that like people were like into like learning how to like walk on stilts because like we had like clown camp and stuff." And he was like, and so I added it to the list of like things. Right now, my list I have of my phases, like different like very niche phases that I went through. And now I'm gonna add like the larger phases of my community, and I have to add stilts to that because turns out not as common as I thought.
No, I mean there was like my cousin had a pogo stick that I always wanted to jump on and she wouldn't let me, but also like I was like 8 and she was like 16, so
yeah, it's a liability.
It was a liability. And I mean she was taller than me. Now she's not taller than me, but at the time she was taller than me, and so I wasn't big enough for the stilts anyway.
I think the craziest part about pogo sticks is that like it is quite tiring, and then like you have to like gauge when you are like strong enough to get off because you can't just you'll just fall over.
Yep.
Like you have to have enough strength to jump up and then off of it.
Yep.
It scares me. I don't like being up off the ground like that.
But yeah, so looking forward to next week. Looking forward to sleeping tonight or in a few hours. And I'm looking forward to eating the rotisserie chicken I have in the refrigerator.
Oh, where'd you get it from?
California chicken, whatever. This is something stupid I did. I cooked some bison, and I ate half of it. Well, I ate a fourth of it, and then left the other half in the skillet and was like, I'll come back for this later. And put it up after it had cooled down. I went to bed, forgot about it. Also left half the block of it that was raw sitting out as well. So I ruined 4 meals. That's bad. I was mad. And so then last night, throughout the whole day, I was like, I have to go get some meat because I don't have any. And then finally last night, it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, I'm not physically going anywhere. Who are you kidding, Melissa? So I just ordered a rotisserie chicken.
That would stress me out.
It was like I was mad the whole day because of it.
Yeah, fair. Like, I get mad enough when, like, I forget to put leftovers away, and I'm thinking the whole day that, like, I'm anticipating that will be my lunch. Yes. And then I'm like, oh, I have to fucking deal with that. But then to, like, have done it also with raw, like, oh, I can't, like, you probably didn't even, like, scratch that itch of, like, the craving of what you were eating. And you know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, then I would have just been like, okay, I'm going to make it again because, like, I didn't get my fill of it.
Well, there was still some in the skillet that was going to be my lunch.
Yeah.
So it was double skillet and awful. Then, yeah. All right. Well, we will see you next Tuesday, maybe. Bye. Bye.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.